quit raising my taxes. The taxes are more, my house payment was when I bought the goddamn house.
I bought a house how many years ago?
30 years ago. What's the difference? You shouldn't have to pay $600 a month taxes to live in your own house.
I think it's pretty economical in the township.
I got a petition to eliminate property taxes. I got over 500 signatures already in Bangor. To get it on the ballot, maybe we'll get rid of all these useless people.
They care about us in the township.
Huh?
They care about the people in the township.
Who does? They do it. They don't care about none but themselves.
1 minute, folks. All right, folks, it is 1 o'clock. Madam Clerk, may we call this meeting to order, please?
Phillips here, Caldwell. Here. Cook. Here. Rowley.
Present.
Taylor.
Here.
Thomas. Wardensky. Here.
Very good. And thank you all for being here at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, which is an odd time, but this is the only time where we could get all 7 together, so thank you for coming today. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. At this point, I am going to open up the floor for public input on agenda items, but before that, I know I don't like it when township business kind of sneaks onto social media. And it was like, if you have questions, come here and they'll be answered. Our public input period is your opportunity to present to this board. We ask that you do so for up to 3 minutes. Anything that you would like to talk about pertaining to agenda items. The other thing I must say is that Bangor Township does not record its meetings, but I must alert you to the fact that this meeting may or may not be recorded. Your comment may or may not be streamed or shared publicly. Your comment may or may not be altered. If you request a copy of the recording through the Freedom of Information Act, your request will be denied as the township does not record the meetings or have access to the recordings. I hope this does not deter your willingness to comment, but I must alert you to those potential recordings. So with that, we will open up the floor to public comment. All we ask is that you please sign and put your address in there. Mr. Murphy, welcome, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, I would like to say that Glenn said if he doesn't like things put out on public media, but when you do come to the township meeting to discuss things like what's on the agenda today, you don't respond. You don't talk to them. Well, why would they want to come here and waste their time when you don't respond to them and you only give them 3 minutes? You know, if you really want to have a dialogue when they take the time to come here, you should answer their questions. You should take the time to listen to them, not say, time's up, move on, and then don't discuss it. That's why people get upset, because you're not transparent. And I believe in a healthy workforce, and that I don't want a firefighter coming to my house that is sick to get my mother-in-law who's ill or a relative that's ill sick because he has to come to work sick because he doesn't have health insurance. So, and I also understand lots of people can't afford the taxes in Bangor Township, which pays for the health insurance. We also have people on the marketplace where they're not going to be able to afford health insurance. So I hope that you take it seriously and make the right decision. So and I would appreciate if you took the time. There's no law stopping you from answering someone's question when they're up there. No law. It's just that you don't want to. Because you don't want to tell the truth. So, all right, thank you.
Mr. Murphy, thank you.
You're welcome.
And just as a reminder, the administrative office is open for any questions that you may have where a dialogue can happen back and forth at any given time. Please reach out at your convenience. So I just wanted to address that. Any more for public input, please?
Wayne Phillips, President, Local 1682, IASF, Bangor Township Firefighters. On Tuesday, 11/25/25, just 2 days before the Thanksgiving holiday, the Bangor Township Firefighters Local 1682 Union was blindsided when we were informed that the Township Board was attempting to start charging us for the health care insurances. This has been a benefit for us. This has been a cost and added benefit that we have accepted at the cost of lower wages. It was brought to our attention that this charge or change has been proposed at the very last minute, leaving us no time for any negotiations about this subject, as December 1st of 2025 is the deadline. This extra charge is something that will cause an undue hardship on employees that have budgeted their incomes already, also made living adjustments. We've been provided very minimal and limited facts, if any, from members that have proposed these changes. This leads us to believe that the Township Board is not attempting to honor our contract that we have bargained in good faith with them, especially the health care insurance section. Our negotiated contract states that we will not incur any health care premium costs as long as the increase in premiums are not greater than 15%. This year's increase is 14.9%, according to the information that we have been provided with. This is a direct violation of our negotiated contract that we have with the Township, and violating and breaking this contract in this manner will not be tolerated, and it will also cause us to file unfair labor practices with our union attorney. We will be seeking attorney fees to be reimbursed due to this violation of our contract as well. We really hope this attack on our contract by some of you does not damage the great relationship that we have worked so hard to build between us. Thank you for your time.
Captain Phillips, thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Brian Phillips, paid on-call firefighter for Bangor Township. Like Captain Phillips stated, that there's a bargaining contract, an agreement that was all agreed to by the board as well as the local 1682. If this isn't abided by, then the 1682 should be able to come back and ask for a substantial pay increase to cover what they're going to be losing. And not just in wages. And I understand that Mr. Taylor put some numbers together just real quickly. Nobody else could get any numbers. But if they're going to take us essentially a $6,000 pay cut, then what is to keep firefighters from wanting to come to Bangor Township, stay in Bangor Township, when their bargaining contract is null and void to the Township Board? You feel you can just come change it. That being said, I hope that everybody votes the right way and everybody respects the fire department and the firefighters for what they have and what they work for. Thank you.
Mr. Phillips, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Mike Sarnowski,
3939 Bangor Road, Bangor Township resident, firefighter, union officer for 30 years. I started out here as a paid on call. I was also the maintenance supervisor. And in all that time, I have never seen the board come up and do something like this, ever. There was always budget workshops ahead of time, which the department heads are in charge of coming to the board and explaining everything. Not each employee, because the employees have no say. It's the budget heads. I also have been paying attention to the comments made on Facebook where one stated that they don't like to ask questions outside of the boardroom. They only like to ask it in front of. Well, then how do you get educated and have time to bring up solutions if you don't take the time to ask the questions? You wait till the last minute, there's no time for anything to be figured out and effectively. We have lost a number of firefighters to other municipalities because of our lower wages. Some within as much as a year, some within 6 months, because the wages and benefits offered elsewhere were better. This healthcare package was one that was negotiated so that we could try and keep firefighters here. And also quality employees. This isn't just about the firefighters. This is all employees that are being affected here. All of our wages come out of the general fund. It doesn't matter if it comes out in building and grounds. It doesn't matter if it comes out in fuel costs, utilities. It doesn't matter at all. It's the same cost for the insurance that is coming out, whether it comes out of the general fund or it comes out of the employee's paychecks. The only difference is the employee takes a $6,000 to $9,000 cut in their take-home pay in a time that's already difficult because everything's gone up. You want to fix the health care, get all the municipalities together, talk to the people in the county, the state, and the federal level, and tell them enough's enough. Fix our health care system. Don't take it out on the little guy that's trying to help his community or her community, the ones that are trying to make it day by day. Go to Lansing, go to DC and say, we need to cap these healthcare costs. People can't afford it. You can't just keep talking about having this great plan and never present it. The ACA actually provided healthcare for a lot of people that aren't able to get it on their own. Now that's being taken away. Medicare has been paid for over the years by employees, retirees, and now that's being taken away. This isn't just about us. This healthcare thing is a national issue, and when people sit there and they want to only take it out on the little guy, they ain't looking for the little guy. They're looking for the CEOs and the stakeholders in those insurance companies and healthcare companies. Not one of them lives here in Bangor Township. We don't have a multi-million-dollar residence here in Bangor Township that any of them would even think about putting money on. All they care about is their back pocket. They don't care about any of us. They don't care about any of you. But we, as the employees and firefighters of Bangor Township, do care about all of you. We have offered different options and solutions to try and make things better around here and more economical. There's a $300,000 surplus in this year's budget that was proposed, even with that health care.
Firefighter Sternowski.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir, the 3 minutes is up unless there's a motion for the board to allow for more time.
Motion to increase the
Support. All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed to the nay? Mr. Sternowski, please continue, sir.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I can't tell you the last time I heard of a surplus at the end of a budget session. But lately it's been happening. I also know that our appraisers, or not appraisers, the people that come in and audit our books, yes, have been very impressed the last few years with how the township has been doing with the budget, that we've been building a surplus. This township, this board, has been very proactive in all the years that I've been here. It was normally reactive. They didn't plan ahead.
Now, the board is actually putting money aside for building and grounds, capital equipment, vehicles, so that when it's time to replace them, the money's there. That's smart. That's fiscally responsible. Ripping $6,000 to $9,000 from families in the name of fiscal responsibility isn't fiscal responsible. It's cruel. And I hope that everybody here realizes, no matter where this money comes from, when it comes from an employee or the general fund, it's still taxpayer money. That's what we get paid with. So the only thing this does is put a hardship on the employees. Thank you.
Firefighter Sarnowski, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
My name is Betty Gillis, and I have been a resident of Bangor Township for 56 years. My late husband retired after 30-some years from a local bank as chief residential appraiser. We had no eye insurance, but for 30 years we were grateful to have limited health and dental. I have worked outside the home for over 30 years, American Hoist, Dow, Consumers Energy. I am not aware of any employee or employees that I have worked for, or my husband, that got 100% medical coverage. Neither did myself nor my husband feel we should have 100% insurance coverage. As a resident and taxpayer of Bangor Township, I am happy to see some of my tax money provide insurance for the men and women who serve and keep our awesome township running, including all of our firefighters. But I do not believe it should be 100%. Thank you.
Ms. Gillis, thank you. Is there anyone else?
My name is David Plackville, Bangor resident. I have no skin in this game, I'm not an employee. I am a taxpayer, a resident. All right, been here 6 years now. Okay. And I'm glad that the temperature is down in the room, because I'm surprised after reading some things over on Facebook that it is a little bit higher. But I do believe that what they have, they deserve. There are some of us that have 100% health care. I do. Okay. When I retired from the military, it was something that was a earned benefit. Okay. I believe that some of the people that work for less than the comparable wages around town deserve that as a benefit. Now, I've lauded this committee for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years about their fiscal responsibility. All right, and I think every one of you remember that. Maybe a couple of you that just were voted, that I voted for on, don't, but I have. That's why we have surplus. Okay. Am I a fan of a full-time fire department? I wasn't. Okay. But do they deserve what they had yet? I believe they do. I wish I had the document and I'd show everybody around here. When I first moved here, I built my house. And when they did the insurance paperwork, they weren't aware that there was a full-time fire department. All right. So my insurance on my new home was $686 more when they thought we had a part-time fire department, volunteer fire department. All right, I got my wife looking for that documentation now, 6 years ago. It went down that much because of you guys. All right, watch the response times. I kind of joke sometimes when I see all those rigs at a traffic accident, but I get it because you don't know what the injuries are. Okay, but I do know you're going to lose a lot of them. All right, and you're going to probably lose some certifications for full-time fire department if you don't have the population you do. I know for a fact you'll probably lose some of the employees here. All right, so I do a lot of transactional business here. I have never, ever left here feeling bad. The quality of employees at Bangor, I think is a cut above the rest. I've done business in Benton County, I've done business in Mont, I've done business in a couple of other places. They're not bad. I will say they're not as good as they are here. Okay. So I got to believe that your decision's probably already been made, or if it's going to happen or not. Reading some of the things I've read, the legality might be a little bit questionable right now. All right. And I appreciate everybody here looking at me like you're looking at me right now. Remember who you're here for. You're going to say that you're doing this, you're responsible for the taxpayers' money. You built, all right, you built quite a pad, all right. You've done very well on budget. The worst suggestion,
Mr. Placco, I apologize.
I request an extension, please.
All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
About 1 more minute. All right, all I would ask, if you are going to do this, then you got to back it off a year, and then you bargain with the people you've got here, because you're going to lose some very high-quality employees. All right, and I think that's a big misjustice to the community. Thank you.
Mr. Placco, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
Good afternoon, do I need to sign the book?
Please. Make sure you get a Christmas card.
I had answered you, I can't sign very well. Thank you everybody for coming. My name is Ronald Moore. I grew up in Bangor, was born here, got 30 years of service on the department combined. I kind of really I try and accept what's going on, but it's kind of stressful because we have contracts and negotiations, and there's been a lot of stuff that's went into getting where we got here for the lower wages and the insurance. And to understand that when I was a reserve, I made great money as an electrician. I had higher wages, but I paid more for my stuff. It's the fact of life. So we here, the board, the union, I mean, give the board kudos. They put so much time into getting us reasonable insurance at a good rate, and we kept our pay low for the residents. If you ask half the guys here, we don't work here for the money. We work because we care about people, and we do what we do. And to make quick understanding the other gentleman about the full-time fire department, okay, you have to understand, when I was 16 years old, I got smoked by a drunk driver here. You know who saved my life? This department. Why? Because of the response times. We have incredible response times. When a person has a heart attack and has got 4 to 6 minutes to live, we got to be there. If we're not, they die. So, understand what we do is important, but we're not here so much for the wages. And now I just had surgery. You think I got $9,000 to pay for this with no insurance? You know, it's important to take care of the residents, and that's what we're here for, but we want to be treated fairly. In the department, it's a great department, but if we can't be competitive, we will lose employees like we have been. We get good people here, we lose them. You know, it's a hard job, you know. So with that, I respect you to think about what you're doing, because there's other issues like the contract, and there's other things tied to all this. This wasn't just last minute that we decided to take low pay for decent insurance. It's for the benefit of the residents. Thank you.
Firefighter Mark, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
We should have a fire department, but when's the last time you guys did a census? How many people are in Bangor Township? 2010 was the last census you did. There's a lot of people moving out of here. My taxes are more than my house payment was when I bought the house. And you're just taxing people right out of the township. When my house burnt, they couldn't even save my basement wall, so they might be good on calls for accidents for people getting hurt. But the couldn't save my basement walls and my house burnt. And it started in the garage, and they had Bangor there, they had Monitor and Call and all three there. So all they did was get the ambulance stuck in the front yard and dug a hole in my. Do a census and see how many people are in Bangor.
Mr. Wood, as a reminder, this is regarding agenda items only, sir.
Well, I'll talk after the other one.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else?
Hello. As a lot of you know, my name is Gary McFarland. I am the current code enforcement officer and building inspector here at Bangor. I've been here over 7 years, and the total time I've done this work is about 15 or 16 years after spending several decades in a large chemical company. I appreciate what most of the people said, especially the firefighters who take their life in their hands, risk their lives every day. I get to talk to a lot of them. I get to work with the fire marshal, fantastic, well-versed individual. But I guess what I really want to talk about today was after during the Tuesday meeting that Mr. Rowley called together and explained what was going on. He said that wouldn't be able to fund, I'm not going to go into all that, the firefighters did a much better job of explaining that. But I guess what stuck out to me the most was one phrase that one of you said, that first of all I should say that Mr. Rowley explained that people may leave, just like the last gentleman said, or the gentleman before him. And the next comment was one of the board members that said, I don't care if they leave. You don't care if they leave. Well, let me tell you, between all of us that work in that office across the hall, there are probably, I put it together, you know, it's not exact, because I don't know exactly how long everyone's been here, but it's 150, 200 years of experience that all of us have in the jobs that we do. I've had my life threatened in the work that I do. I know it's part of the job. I've been doing it a long time. We have good protection from the Bay County Sheriff's Department, and I use them whenever I can, and they're great. But when the deputy treasurer or the deputy clerk or the coordinator for zoning and planning come up there and somebody reads in the Riot Act and threatens them because they're a day late on paying their taxes, and they have to charge them the percentage of interest. It's just uncalled for. Taxes are high everywhere. We all accept that. And as far as house payments of 30 years ago, they were nothing. Of course, the house payments have gone up to $1,000, $2,000 a month. But I guess I don't like calling the people taxpayers. In my work, I call them residents because there's several hundreds of them that are not taxpayers.
Mr. McFarland, I apologize, sir, your time is up.
I'd like to ask for an extension of it, again.
All in favor with an aye, please?
Aye.
Thank you all. I'll try to be brief and speed up a little bit. But those taxpayers that own all the rentals, some really huge ones and other ones that are just single family, 400 to 600. And I inspect them, have usually within 1 every 3 years is what the state says you must do. And I find that the taxpayers and of those really don't care, because if we didn't inspect them, we have found carbon monoxide issues, we've shut buildings down. Homes, I've shut 6 down that in the period of my time that I've been here, try not to, I don't want to put people on the street, but they weren't fit to live in. So what would it be if we didn't have this kind of work that we do? People that avoid building permits, put people's lives in danger from not abiding by the construction codes of the state of Michigan. And then a lot of those taxpayers are the ones that they don't want to take care of their property, and some don't pay the taxes. The blight is horrendous. I put 140 code enforcement violations into the system this year alone, and this year's not done yet. At 150 plus last year. And with all the rental inspections, we've had probably 15, 20 times I've written a civil infraction and taken them to court, which you want to talk about costing taxpayers money, that costs us a lot of money. And then we have to clean it up. And then it goes on their taxes, and then they don't pay it. Or they lose the home, or they lose it to back taxes. A lot of those same people don't pay their taxes. So there's a lot of things involved in that. The other thing is that a couple people touched on that you're going to lose good people. I don't know if any or who would leave here. I do know in the past 50 years or more that I have worked, and I worked for, like I said, a big corporation, a lot of very good places. I've never worked at a place like Bangor Township where everyone cares. Everyone works together. And when I'm up there with a code enforcement thing, or Ms. Wardinsky's up there with taxes or whatever, and there's assessing going, sometimes there's 3 or 4 of us up there. It's like the old cliche, it takes a village to do some of the work, and it does. We all like each other, we all work together, and since I have been here, I would say that this place is a fine-tuned machine, and it gets better all the time.
Mr. McFarland, I apologize.
Okay,
Your
well,
time
thank
is
you,
up.
and I hope that you guys vote on the right thing, and thank you very much.
Is there anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Tennant. I am the Assistant Chief Fire Marshal. I would like to first of all say, if you were to look inside our fire helmets, firefighting is an inherently dangerous job. This health care that we've received, much with the lower pay that has been talked about multiple times, is very important for us. Shoulders, knees, backs, hands, all these things get damaged, whether it's in a fire, carrying somebody out of a ditch, or even lifting somebody off the floor. One small movement, and you can have a back-ending career. And so having this medical that can help us fix these things is paramount to keeping this machine running. If you have a vehicle, do you do maintenance on it, or do you wait for it to fall apart? Our bodies are the same thing. We need this so that we can go see our chiropractors, so we can go see our doctors, get knees and shoulders fixed when it's only something small instead of having a complete replacement. We're here to help. Help us. Thank you.
Fire Marshal Tennant, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Public comment going once.
Thank you very much for everyone being here. I wouldn't want your job. I know it's a tough time right now, but I've had the honor and the privilege of being before you before to fight for, unfortunately, the firefighters of Bangor. I've either had the honor and privilege of working with some of them or some of their parents, or trained their parents. So there's a lot of, history in Bangor, and I would trust any one of them with my life. When you say Bangor firefighter, one of the names that I think of is Len Kalida. And I'm so honored every time I walk through that hall of John Glenn and I see those AEDs in those buildings because of this, so many people said different things that is so perfect, but Bangor, there's something that makes you so proud about living in Bangor. And again, I would trust any one of them with my life. And if there's any piggy bank to steal something else for, one of the hardest things, that I was a road medic that worked with many of them, to have to transfer a firefighter to the Jefferson Cancer Center because of the exposure, and they know what they're walking into, but they didn't expect the end of their lives to be at the Jefferson Cancer Center from the exposure that each one of them walked into to help. They don't know us. I mean, some of them do, and I'm proud to know many of them, but they walk into all of these exposures. So taking their health care and messing with any of that or their finances, I don't think that you're doing it, to be, mean or anything, but I'm just saying, I would just like you to think of the longevity. Some of them, they were toddlers walking into the fire department, watching them grow up, before Katrina was born, So a lot of this, I'm just saying that, look at them. They're your neighbors. Please don't take something like this. If there's anything that you can do to not take from, they're a family. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else?
Scott Shook, Captain, Bangor Township Fire Department. 25, 30 plus years doing this. And just so everybody else knows, cancer survivor, okay? Government's not paying for any of it for me. The VA denied me. The state of Michigan denied me. I didn't have the cool kid cancer. Everything was denied. All of my money came from here. All of my savings, gone. After everything that I paid for, all of my savings was gone. But what I had here was I had a great benefit that I was able to use to cover majority of what I paid for, what I had to go through. I'll tell you what, 8 rounds of chemotherapy sucks. My hands still hurt, my feet still hurt, and I was here every day after treatment working through the cancer. Yeah, I took this job to help the public, to do what I do. I love it. Yep, I always say my dumb fool head's gonna run into a burning building. But that's what I want to do. I want to take care of everybody here, just like they would take care of me, or I would take care of your mother, your grandmother, or anybody else. I go into that house to make sure that you're taken care of, because it's probably one of your worst days. And granted, some of you people and some of the other township residents have never called the fire department before, and good for them. I'm glad they've been that lucky. Sometimes luck doesn't happen to everybody, but sometimes it does. Yep, I got lucky. I worked through it, and I fought it, and I beat it. We'll see what happens. They cut a foot of colon out of me. Nobody cares. See what happens. Thank you.
Captain Shook, thank you, sir. Is there anyone else? Public input going once.
I'm going to say. My name is Belinda Nelson. And Mike Nelson, so he's firefighter here.
And I'm just going to read this because I don't want to get off track. I'm standing right there. What this township is attempting to do for their firefighters' insurance at the last minute is nothing short of a betrayal of the department. For years, our firefighters accepted lower wages than neighboring communities because of fully coverage insurance as part of their compensation. That wasn't a favor, it was a negotiated agreement, a promise. A commitment this township made and these families built around their lives around. Trying to quietly take that benefit away at the 11th hour in the middle of ongoing negotiations is not budgeting, it's breaking faith with the people who protect this community. You're asking firefighters to absorb a sudden $6,000 or more of their household budgets. That's not a small adjustment. That is the equivalent of slashing their pay overnight at a time when the department is already